That hurts like a mother.
Warning, this review contains spoilers. Disclaimer, all opinions are my own and it's okay to have different opinions. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to quickly give my review for Snyder Cut's Justice League. This is where I quickly try to go through my pros and cons. And like I said, give my impression of the movie. First and foremost, I want to just address the elephant in the room, which is the most unnecessary change, in my opinion, of the movie, which is the infamous booty shot of Wonder Woman or Diana when you see the Flash and Batman going down the whatever you call that elevator thing, and you see this camera angle of Wonder Woman's ass. And yeah, in Snyder cut, it's completely out of the movie, and I completely expected it. I'm not surprised they did it. In 2021, you just can't have sexy female protagonists, or you can't have strong female sexy protagonists, according to Hollywood directors and video game journalists and what else? Video game developers. Yeah, it's not allowed anymore for some reason. I just wanted to say I don't agree with that. I think you can be sexy and still be a strong female protagonist. That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, obviously, but it's just, I feel like we live in this hypocritical, contradictory world where you can have Jason Momoa just have his shirt off for like 5 minutes and no one bats an eye. You can have Henry Cavill as Superman with his shirt off for like 5 minutes. No one gives a fucking shit. That's completely fine and dandy for Hollywood, but just this camera angle of a butt, that's not even bare at all. She has pants on, but it's just a taboo topic. You just can't have it in 2020, 2021 anymore, which is ridiculous in my opinion, because I mean, if you look at YouTube, the highest, as far as I know, like some of the highest viewed videos are basically naked women. Like, what was it, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, all their music videos, they have millions and millions of views, and nobody gives a shit. Nobody goes and cries about how women are being sexualized and it's all fine and dandy. But just a simple camera angle of a booty from Wonder Woman is a no-no. But you can have in the movie, you can have violence, you can have people getting blown up, you can have people getting their heads cut off. It's all fucking okay, but just camera angle of a booty is just completely not allowed. So I thought that was just, I didn't agree with that, but whatever. It doesn't make the movie any worse for not having it, but I just wanted to address that. And with that said, let's actually get into the review of the movie. So overall, I just want to say I think it was a much better movie compared to the original, even though it was 4 hours, which is surprising to me because most movies that are like 3 hours and even longer than that are just, they become a drag for me. Like, you could clearly tell this movie is super fucking long. Like, you just start to get tired, and especially if the movie is just not as good. But for some reason with this movie, it never felt, especially it had parts, right? It had like 7 parts with the epilogue, 7-8 parts. So for me, it never dragged on, except for maybe the epilogue. But yeah, other than that, the pacing felt right in this movie. I really loved the fight scenes. Like, for any superhero movie, for me, the fight scenes are the most important. For any superhero movie, like Marvel's movies, those are basically what I watch the movies for, the fight scenes. And this movie was much better. They improved every fight scene in this movie, from the Themyscira all the way to the final fight with Steppenwolf. I mean, the Themyscira alone, you had this. They developed these emotions for, because you remember the queen trying to get the cube out of that little temple or whatever where they were hiding it. You could feel the emotion of like trapping everybody in there. In the original film, they kind of just like say it's okay, we're just gonna kill all these Amazonians, and it felt like there was just no emotion there. But this one adds a lot more emotion to that. The thing that does bug me though about that part is it's also in the original film where they're almost getting away from Steppenwolf, and the one of them dies from like the horse, I guess crushing her. I'm not sure if the horse crushing her killed her or it was Steppenwolf's attack, but it seems like the horse crushing her kills her. And to me, that just bugs me because these Amazons are so fucking strong. Like they're able to lift stone walls and fight. Like I just don't believe a horse crushing them is enough to kill them. So that kind of bugs me. The dark side fight where all the different tribes or whatever you want to call them, the Atlanteans, the Amazons, and the humans, I guess. I think that was much better compared to being Steppenwolf. I really enjoyed that, but it was kind of a little disappointing because Darkseid just gets his ass whooped by Ares. He just like slashes him with his axe and just gets fucked up, and he's like, we just gotta retreat after that. And that was kind of like a little disappointing, but I guess that was just the setup for Darkseid, so there's not much I guess they could really do with that. So that was cool and kind of disappointing at the same time. I'm also wondering if that Ares is the same Ares that Wonder Woman fought. I think it is, but obviously they're different actors. The Atlantis fight where they're fighting Steppenwolf underwater, that was much better. There was actually more guards, I think. So I was happy with that. The only thing that bugs me though is like how they're supposed to be guarding this cube, right? But their defense for that is just so fucking pathetic in my opinion. So that was kind of lame. Let's see. Fleshed out characters. Yeah, the Cyborg and Flash, they have way more screen time and like they have a much more effect in this movie, which I love because they don't have their own movies before this Justice League movie. So they kind of make up for the lack of their own movies, which I love. You see Cyborg's whole transformation. You see his backstory with his mom and getting into that car crash. I just loved all that. The football game, seeing all that is just so cool. And like the end, he has way more of stake than he was in the original. Even the Flash, like the way he's able to reverse time in this movie is just way better because they never showed that in the original film. So I really like that. No more awkward jokes with Batman. That was a pro for me. I was really happy to see that Snyder dropped all those weird Batman jokes because Batman could joke around, but his humor is different. It's not fucking awkwardness the way the original film did it. So I was happy to see the awkwardness go away. It was cool to see Darkseid as the new like main villain. It was also cool to see Martian Manhunter, even though he didn't fight. It was cool to actually see him. And I'm wondering if that general has been Martian since the very beginning, like in Man of Steel. But I don't think we'll ever find out because none of this is canon, according to Zack Snyder. Let's see what else. The black suit Superman was pretty cool. It was cool that you could see all these different suits when he was coming back to life, and when he went back to the ship. I really enjoyed that. I kind of wish there was a bit more explanation to the black suit because I think in the comics it has a much deeper meaning. But I mean, the movie's already 4 hours, so I guess so there's not they didn't want to make it into like 5 hours, so they kind of rushed that part in my opinion. But it was still cool to see. And the most thing I'm happy about really are like the added scenes in the movie where they show Diana going underground and showing her how she finds out about Darkseid, which wasn't in the original. Lois visiting the police officer in like the monument of Superman like every day. I think that makes more sense of why she's there. So I was really happy to see that. Um, Other little things that bugged me were the slow motion scenes. I think there were a little too much slow motions. That was kind of annoying. Like for the Flash, it makes sense, but everyone else there's just a little too much. It kind of gets a goofy and comical when there's so many of them. Especially like the sword scene where Wonder Woman's going down and the Flash like touches the tip, just the tip, to help her get it. In Zack Snyder's cut, it doesn't make any fucking sense because in the original, she's falling down and the parademons are chasing after her. When she gets the sword, she slashes like one of them in like half. In this one, she just gets it and then drops to the ground. It makes no fucking sense. She could have just got the sword on her own. For the most part, overall, I enjoyed all the changes. The only one I really didn't like the change was the Batman. There was a little less Batman, and they got rid of that scene where he's catching that bank robber or whatever it was. Not a bank robber, he was just a criminal, but it's not like that scene was good anyway. But it was cool to see Batman on his own, and we never really get that in this cut. And the other thing was when he tells Flash to save one. I think that was a pretty cool moment. That was in the original, but not in Snyder's cut. Let's see what else. The 4:3 format was kind of weird to me. I guess looking back at it, it doesn't really affect the movie that much, so I guess it's not too bad. But it was still a weird thing to see because you never see 4:3 movies anymore. Like in the trailer, it was 4:3, but I didn't expect the whole movie to be 4:3. So someone needs to explain that to me. I think someone was saying is like the reason for that is because it gives you more vertical detail, but I don't know. It's just weird to me. I really enjoyed the subtle changes they made to the movie, like Wonder Woman with her first fight scene with those terrorists. I think it was really cool to see her like just. I think the fight scenes were a little different in that part where she was able to show off more of her skills. She fucking blows up that last guy at the end. That was freaking awesome. She even, I think, flies up to throw the bomb, which in the original, I think she just throws it up with her lasso or something like that. This one, she actually jumps all the way up because it's supposed to be a big ass bomb. So I was happy to see that. The whole Steppenwolf fight was way cooler. Getting his head chopped off was fucking sick. I know it was a little bit more violent, but I just enjoyed that more. So I was happy to see that. That's pretty much about it. It was just overall the pacing fleshed out more characters. The added explanations just makes the movie way better. The only thing I am kind of disappointed with was with the nightmare scene at the end with the Joker. It was really cool to see Joker back, but it just didn't land. I think the idea was cool, but the execution was just not there. It just, I don't know, something about Jared Leto. Like, I know we're supposed to not really judge him off a couple minutes of screen time because he never really gets his own movie, but something about his Joker doesn't hit like fucking Heath Ledger's or even Walking Phoenix's Joker. It's just a weird Joker to me. I wasn't a huge fan of it. That whole scene was just obviously like a setup for maybe a future movie, but I don't think we'll ever see it. So it's kind of pointless at this time. But yeah, it was okay. So overall, I'm gonna give this movie an 8 minus because I don't want to compare it too much to the original, or I want to give it a score based on its own merits, not comparing it to the original. So judging it on its own, basically I would give it an 8 minus because it could still be better. The CGI could be better, the story could still be a little bit better, but overall I really enjoyed it. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of the movie in the comments.